Loon Lake of the Paranormal Ghost Society. It's sunrise here at Loon Lake. We're getting ready to head off to Devil's Peak, and then we'll do the long trek to quite a few various lakes that reside over the ridge here. You have Spider Lake, Buck Lake, Rockbound Lake, and Fawn Lake all up and through here. It's really hard to say what we're going to encounter or how we're going to encounter it or how we're going to do this, but I'm hoping to go 360 degrees to start at Devil's Peak, come around to the lakes, loop back around and back to the dam. Actually, the lake extends over to the north, and there's two dams. There's one over here and there's one over here. And we'll park near the Rubicon, which is one of the world's famous Jeep trails, and then we'll begin our trek. It's a beautiful morning. It's what it's all about. It's Bigfoot time. We're coming up on a hidden pond, ladies and gentlemen. Keep in mind that there's a lot of hidden ponds in the Crystal Basin, and the Native American people must have really enjoyed themselves because they knew that these ponds were a treasure trove for wildlife and small game to come have a drink. For example, you might have some deer drinking on the bank, and you could sit there and you could hunt the deer from the top of the hill or from behind the rocks. There are hundreds of ponds in this Crystal Basin in this region. I don't even know the name of them all. I just know that they exist. And they're here. And this is one of them. Wow. It has algae floating on top, but it's stagnant water. But it is what it is. It's a pond in the middle of the Crystal Basin, a hidden pond. And there's at least 100, like I said, hidden ponds. They don't have a name or anything, but they're here. And these are good Bigfoot areas. You could check for tracks all along the edge. Just so people kind of understand how Bigfoot investigating works, you always check bodies of water. These creatures have to drink. They have to hydrate. It's 100 degrees outside. They have to do what they have to do to sustain themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very harsh wilderness back in here. Honestly, I don't have any regrets. Because this is beautiful country. Look at the cliffs and the rock faces and these pools of water created by Loon Lake. And the decrease in water has caused the lake to kind of split off into multiple lakes like this here. This is beautiful. We're not too far from Devil's Peak. I do believe we can probably summit it in an hour, sit up there, have some snacks, come back down, hit the lakes. Make a day of it, and then we could take the Rubicon, we can walk the Rubicon back to the truck. And the only part that's not easy is that we had to trek through all that brush you see on the hillside, push through it, get caught up some more. But we're hiking. It's Jared, Tammy, and I. Christina and her team are back at camp. They opted out of going to Devil's Peak, so we're going to do it. And then we're going to hit some small alpine and granite lakes. These are high intense Bigfoot areas. You could actually look across and be like, oh, I could just picture Bigfoot walking along the shoreline. And I'll tell you what, if I want a track here bad enough, I'll find a track. And it'll go on our site and we'll prove that Bigfoot's here. Here's a feather. We'll prove that Bigfoot roams this area. This area is well renowned for its Bigfoot sighting. This is the furthest north of the El Dorado National Forest. The Desolation Wilderness is straight ahead. This is what the Crystal Basin's about. If you don't come here and you don't trek around, you're truly missing what this basin's about. This is what the basin's about. What you see here, the big rocks, cliffs, the beautiful peaks and forests, and the meadows and the green shoreline. Oh man, I love this. Lily pads, look at the lily pads. This is awesome. I cannot wait to see more of this wilderness. This is very beautiful back here. Pristine, quiet, there's birds, it's wildlife. Oh man, I love this kind of thing. Love it. Lily pads and bullfrogs. What's there not to like? Also, one more thing before I continue on with the trek. Very soft shoreline and mud. Great for looking for Bigfoot tracks. If you want to find tracks, you have to come to the most remote regions of the Crystal Basin. You have to traverse the shoreline and look for them. They're not going to look for themselves. So we're here to try to see if we can find anything of the strange. Because I'll tell you right now, if we're going to find any tracks, it's going to be along these lakes and areas. Wow. This is some really pretty country back here. Woo! We're on a sandy beach, ladies and gentlemen. You can see these tracks are human, because I did see a sneaker track earlier. But we're heading to Devil's Peak. This is beautiful country. This lake is blue, the peaks are beautiful. It is really a magnificent hike. I don't have an issue with it. These are lower end mountains. We can hike any of these rocks or mountains. We're just going to pick one. I picked Devil's Peak because it's one of the lower elevation mountains, and it'll allow me to do some, go higher up, but not too high, or ascend too high, and then I could descend down and visit some lakes below it. So it's really smart. When I put these expeditions together, I put a lot of thought in them, because I try to choose locations that are all within a couple miles of each other, so that way we could get a pretty views, pretty lakes, and still check for tracks along these lakes and ponds. That's how you do a Bigfoot investigation. But you have to commit to field work to be able to find tracks and paranormal anomalies. If you just sit around and you don't do anything, you're never going to find the answers you seek. But if you sit here and you hike and you find an 18-inch track, you're on to something. It means that you worked hard to get to where you had to go to get that evidence, and you have bragging rights. And if anybody on the internet gets mad because you're sitting there bragging about something you found after hiking 10 miles, you have every right to boast. I know I'd boast if I sit here and I hike 10 miles a day and I climb to the top of the peak and I find a track at the top of the peak, folks. It's because I worked hard to get there and worked hard to find it. It's just like when you catch a big bass. You may have fished for 6 hours to get that big bass, but you have every right to take a picture of it and show it off. Same thing here. We're going to find things. Even if it's not paranormal, we will see nature, we will see beauty, and we will have a good time. There's cost to everything, even if you blow your knee out. But if you find something, totally worthwhile. There are pros and cons to everything we do at the Paranormal Ghost Society. We'll continue to hike. I'm just here, you know, like I said, I'm just soaking up the scenery. It's a beautiful little, whoa, slippery, beautiful little beach. The rocks are a little bit of a pain. It is a beach. The water is low. What are you going to do? You can't change Mother Nature. It is what it is. We'll continue to trek on, or we'll worry about getting to Devil's Peak soon. That's Devil's Peak right up in here, somewhere up in here, and it's pretty easy if we just follow the hill or the ridge line up. It's flat and just walk all the way up the top. It's not a very steep ascension, not compared to Shirley Canyon. Shirley Canyon was utterly steep and ridiculous. Pretty, but ridiculous. A lot of brush, it's like an obstacle course. Time to cut the film. I'll continue to journey on with Jared and Tammy.
Tired right now. I think he's just like, let's get this over with. I want to go to sleep.
Right now, there's a sulfur smell in the area. That's why I turned on the camera, because I'm hoping to get a glimpse of something paranormal or Bigfoot-like in the area. I don't know how many people realize this who study Bigfoot, but if you've ever studied Bigfoot, when you generally, let's say, when I was hiking in New York one time, we came across a couple sulfur rotten egg-like smells, and something was moving in the woods. We couldn't see it, or we'd see eyes looking at us. I'm not saying it is Bigfoot. I'm saying that it is possibly Bigfoot. There's a rotten egg smell, and I can't decide where it's coming from, but it's really close and it's nasty. And I'm thinking that maybe something is near here watching us, or at least passing through and we don't see it. So it's important I look up in the trees, I keep an eye, because I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. But I'm telling you, that's a sign that something's here. So we have to take that into consideration, that maybe there is some Bigfoot in the area right now. If I see anything, I'll keep you up to date. There's some... You hear that? Somebody just responded to my vocalization. Back.
Probably them.
Maybe. Oh. Ah. Yeah. Be very careful walking on this, right? Because it's in the wind. You know, in the breeze that's coming through. It's either downwind. It might be downwind from us, but it's something's making that smell.
Is it the water?
No, it's not stagnant. It pours out of the Rubicon River from here. There's the southern portion and the northern portion. Wow, that's creepy. We'll keep you up to date, ladies and gentlemen. Sulfur smells up at Loon Lake. We decided instead of rock climbing, shave some time off the hike, we'll actually just push through the shoreline. Feels good on the feet, it's nice and cool. We're actually along the beach. It's a very pretty lake. Love to fish in it today. Oh wow, this water's crystal clear. A little cold because of the ice water, or snow melting off the mountains recently, but it's still doable. Better than rock climbing and falling all down the rocks and everything else. Oh yeah.
I smell again.
I don't know what that is. Bigfoot? I don't know. This water's not stagnant.
You're gonna have to be careful through here with all these rocks.
Oh yeah. Fun times.
And they're really slippery. Oh, I just stubbed my toe in there like hell.
Whoa. Dragonfly. There we go. Seriously? Careful.
I told you the rocks are really slippery out here. It looks like it gets pretty deep out here, man.
Nah, just stay on the rocks and then go around.
What's the problem, man? Oh, there's a fish. I'm about to fall in.
Ah, I just stubbed. Cold? Feels good on my feet. Oh. It gets, you might not need it here because there's no big rocks. Once you get over here, it's all flat again. Oh yeah. Now it's sandy. Oh, that feels so good. Good luck getting there. Once you get there, it's good. There we go. Woo! Right? Wading through water at Loon Lake. Things we do for Bigfoot.
Geese or something. It's like 3.
Geese tracks. See the triangulars?
Yeah.
For the feet? They must come all the way up here. On the other side?
Well, you can see it from the other side better.
Let me see here. Bigfoot cave. Haha. Ouch. That hurt. Oh yeah. A lot of natural dens in the area. And lots of granite rocks, piles of rocks, anything could be hiding. Animals could have been used for shelter by a Sasquatch-like creature during the winter months. It's important to check those dens for hair, feces, stool samples, tracks, anything that might be out of the ordinary. It's beautiful, all the little islands. There's an island back over here. Should be hitting the Rubicon soon. You can just take that. I think that takes you right up near the peak. Pretty. Nice little cove. This should all be underwater. We're walking, ladies and gentlemen, on the lake bed. This is what 3 years to 4 years of drought does. The lake can recede 50 to 250 feet in depth. We're almost on the Rubicon Jeep Road, and then we'll go ahead and we'll head up to, if we can get to Devil's Peak, we'll do it. It just depends. Depends on the accessibility. If we have to go through brush, I don't feel like getting cut up. This red brush will give me muscle spasms if I get cut up because it puts my body in shock, and plus the branches scrape deep in the skin and it mixes with your blood. Look at that print. No toes. If there was toes, I'd be suspicious, but
yeah,
that...
There's another one over there.
Oh yeah, I see it. Must be somebody's boot. There's no toes on that. I hope we get a track today, everyone. But I'll continue to film, document, take a scientific and skeptical approach, which is just the good practice of any paranormal investigation group. You should never assume anything, and you should look at things like... Jared, this way, brother. Jared. Right here. The road's right up here. Look at the mercury. Maybe not. That looks like mercury. It's red. Huh. Interesting. You don't want to drink this water. Holy crap, it'll kill you. There's another boot track. Somebody came hiking through here. There's a sneaker track. You can tell a lot about tracks. And you know if there's toes and it's a giant track, you have to question what made that. But when you see a size 9 or 10 and it has treads or it has no toes, it's probably someone came through here with a boot. Just to be like, yeah, just hike around the lake. Beautiful country. Like I said, I have no regrets. I didn't come to the Crystal Basin or Crystal Mountains just to stare at it. I came here so we could hike, explore, be big kids again. Look at this little road. Just a little tiny road right here. Somebody's bike tracks here too. Someone's mountain biking. Oh wow. Beautiful country, beautiful country. Love it here. I love it. You know what else I love? Sasquatch. I've smelt rotten eggs. I've heard vocalizations, which are probably another human responding to mine. What if? What if it turns out that this is...
This is the road.
Oh, that's some...
those poles were it.
No. I gotta look on my GPS up here. It's coming up. Check out this, ladies and gentlemen. It's all used to be underwater. Now it's very soft mud. Great for finding tracks. I believe I found Devil's Peak. My GPS was a little off where I marked it, and finally it showed it as this mountain straight ahead being Devil's Peak. Now what I can do is follow the Rubicon and then veer off at the canyon and just I could actually take the ridge and walk all the way on top and all the way up It's not as bad as it looks, believe me. But that's how we're gonna do it. Gradual ascension rather than going straight up the side of it. We'll cut ourselves a couple hours off the hike just being able to take that trek. Today, instead of this being filled with shallow water, it's turning more into a meadow. You have to understand that the meadow that you see here, there's hundreds of them. Back in the 1800s and early 1900s, this was a sheep herders and cattle ranch in paradise. People had livestock, and what they did is they took all the open meadows and expanses and they flooded them into reservoirs, which now power parts of Sacramento. However, this is what it would look like. For example, now that the water is receding, it's returning back to a meadow type of atmosphere or terrain. It's right up there, the road. It's like 150 feet away. Huh? No, it's up over the top of the hill. We'll probably see jeeps, so we need to be careful, all right? Oh, look at all the geese. I didn't even... Best kept secrets are the ones on the road less taken. Wow. Wow. Look, it does look like a backbone. Look how it... Have you ever seen any phenomena like this? It's like it's a chemtrail and it goes to the clouds and disappears.
But there was nothing that flew through there.
Right, there's nothing. This reminds me though, it almost looks like something busted through the clouds and made a trail, like it flew off to space, like bam. Wow, look at that. Wow.
Look at there. Look, see off the side of it
Uh-huh.
on the left?
Yeah.
Looks like a fingerprint or something.
You could see all the little lines. Let me zoom in on that. Oh my God. And it just appeared quickly, huh? Mm-hmm. Which means it had to be an object moving extremely fast, which caused ripples throughout the cloud. It's not even a chemtrail. I just zoomed in to study it. It's not even a chemtrail. It's just like, it looks like something busted through the clouds and went right up to space, like right through it into the atmosphere. I don't know what that could be. But between the rotten eggs and some of this, like...
I mean, seriously, I kept smelling it.
This has more Bigfoot. There's more Bigfoot sightings.
And you know what? It could have been maybe goose poop.
Goose poop? Methane? Methane?
Yeah.
Maybe it was goose shit, but I'll tell you what. There is more Bigfoot sightings here than anywhere else almost in the country.
Look how that moved away.
Look at the ripples in the clouds, look.
Well,
look to the...
It was in the middle of them and now
it's moving out.
Uh-huh.
Look, it's like ripples of sand. The clouds, look at the ripples. I'm going to have to speak with some of my friends about this. I filmed it and took photographs. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing some pretty odd phenomena. And look how it's disappearing. The backbone, and now it's just like dissipating all of a sudden. Wow, that is weird.
Yep, it's gone. Straight up. Now it's dissipating again.
Ripples go different ways, but yeah, this is weird. Obviously some weird meteorology. Weird weather phenomena. So primitive. No wonder why Bigfoot's sighted out here so frequently. Honestly, this terrain is godly insane, or ungodly. We're going to be heading to Shadow Lake also today. As soon as we summit Devil's Peak. We also have 4 or 5 other lakes and a couple hidden creeks that we're going to visit This is a huge expedition. Everybody thinks sitting around camp doing nothing is the way to go. But if you want to really see Bigfoot, you have to really put yourself out there and do this. Nothing's handed to you. You have to work for everything in life. It's a very unforgiving wilderness. Is it worthwhile? You bet. This is the place to hike. It's a rock ape playground. Wow. Look at that. Beautiful. Love this place. Woo! Mr. Jared. There you are. What you see over there, man?